So we can label that first high as TS. So we're going to be trailing to 139. Okay, so I'm actually just going to set my stop at this point. So now you control your stops, and we're reducing risk by over 70%. Okay, so your stops are going to be at 140, matter of fact. Yeah, so 139.75. A 2-to-1 is going to bring us those equal highs is our overall draw, overall target. Hopefully that makes sense. So you should be risking around $50 really right now. So you should be risking around $50 to around $110 or $130 really on your other accounts. Hopefully that makes sense. That's basically it. So we've reduced risk by to 8.25 from 27. So that's a decent amount of risk reduced. Okay, so basically something that we're going to be looking at is 0.5. That's basically it. So we go from our entry towards our TP, and you can see we've got an area for price, which would be 0.5, which is going to be this high for price. That's where we can reduce risk to break even. Otherwise, we're just going to keep an open risk. That's basically all it is. Okay. 139.75. Not the usual trading setup today, I'll tell you that, because I left my 49-inch monitor in Pattaya, so it's kind of back to the good old day trading setup really. You know, nothing crazy. I've just got 2 monitors, a MacBook Pro and a mic and a mouse. That's all you really need anyway. The other screen, well, and another laptop as well, but yeah, I mean that's basically it, nothing crazy. Spray a bit of fucking Savage, mate. So we had someone in the chat say, was backtesting yesterday, March 2023, looks absolutely incredible, 10R. Yeah, I mean, look, so March and April, and also you can backtest March and April in 2024, etc. And it's renowned to be the biggest months of the year, the most volatile months of the year. So you should be prepared for that time really, because yeah, March and April is the most volatile points of the year, you know. So I usually have my biggest months around those times. So for ES, you know, when you're monitoring this trade, you want to be taking a look at this high on ES. It's plain sight obvious, but if ES takes that, then you would actually close out of your position on the NASDAQ, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. So you can just label that as objective. Okay. So we're starting to see a bit of aggression here for price. So essentially what I'm looking at here, I'd only trail my position, otherwise I'd leave an open risk. I'd only trail if the NASDAQ creates a gap here. Okay, so if we create this as a breakaway gap, I'll be trailing to this low, which essentially is reducing my risk into actually a very slight profit. Nothing crazy, obviously, but if we can't hold above this high for a gap, then I'm still going to leave an open risk, because we might look to seek the short-term low to then trade higher. So that's a probable scenario. So if we do form a gap here, we are going to be trailing to 149, because it's a bullish PDRA that we would assume to be respected also with that bullish order block on ES. Okay, so 14975 is what we're going to be looking at. Mate, the thing's been playing in the background. I hear this one TikTok sound for fucking 100 times now. Alright, 14975 it is. Make it quick and snappy, guys. Don't fuck around with your stops, okay? 14975, because some of you take fucking forever, mate. You gotta be... I'm like a fucking sniper, mate. Okay, cancel your orders as well. How many of you guys don't fucking cancel your previous orders? Holy shit. Gets me spinning sometimes. So you should have your stops into just above break even. Essentially, we're just covering brokerage fees. That's basically it. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So our stops are basically around the point and just above break even. We should trade out of the bullish order block on ES, which will send the NASDAQ higher, and it's a breakaway gap on the NASDAQ. Either scenario should trade price higher. Returning to the short-term low in this case would be an improbable scenario. Okay. Yeah, one sec. Some people say the screen is unshared. Let me reshare my screen. No problem, brother. No need to spin. So let's say, for example, the NASDAQ is able to hold, you know, above this area for price to around 3 AM. That's when we're going to start to see a nice acceleration in the NASDAQ, okay, around 3 AM. So I'm keeping a close eye on ES here, because you can see we're only around 3 to 4 points off from the objective, okay? And we're currently floating at a 1 hour profit as of now, hence why we've reduced our risk to the short-term low, okay? So we're always in a position where we're risking only 1 hour, okay? I might have to go into the room with the ting, mate, and turn that fucking, scroll that TikTok off, mate, because holy shit, she's listening to the same song now. Mate, still playing. So algorithmic price action so far, you can see bullish order block, bullish breakaway gap, order block from this scenario, not on NQ but on ES, and that's it. If price then chooses to trade 0.5 and treat it as a point of buy side and trade back to my trading, that's fine. You know, that would be not a problem at all. I would like to see price stay around this area, just hang around for 5 minutes, and then see the London Open. Have you man seen Shooter on Netflix? No, I mean I don't watch Netflix, brother. I don't do that. Some people do, some people don't. I mean, my ADHD can't get me to sit around to watch Netflix, mate. Yeah, so if we was to get taken out of this position, for example, then I'd expect the actual London Open to send it all the way towards sell side. Okay. Few ticks. Not far off. Couple ticks. Right, a couple ticks, and now the Nasdaq said, you know what? That's still likely. I mean, look, let's see. We just trail our position and that's it. I mean, you don't have to focus on anything else. You can use this other short-term low that we've just put in. If we take this high here, we can use it as a point to trail. Okay, so if the Nasdaq trades above this area, we use it as a point to trail. But we're in very close proximity, so I mean, even taking previous candle low would literally take us out of the position. So not got much room to work here. But we'll see if we hang around for the next, 2-3 minutes for price at the London Open. I managed to get my hands on some pH 9 water at a shop. It's nothing fucking special, is it? But I went Vietnamese shopping. Is that what they call it? That's what I did. Didn't really understand half the stuff that was in there, mate. There's some very strange products indeed, I tell you that. Very, very strange. Yeah, you need your pH 9 water, mate. It's very, very essential. You need to be alkalined up. Parasites can't survive in an alkaline body, mate. Very, very important. Alright, so if we actually trade slightly higher, kind of break out of these bearish 1 minute gaps, then we can actually be in for the London Open here, which is going to be very fucking interesting. Make sure you got your stops in, because you might shit yourself if it goes towards your trading. Okay? Because we've got about 1 minute and 20 seconds. The Nasdaq, I will tell the Nasdaq now, so the Nasdaq's gay if it takes us out before the open. Okay, so Nasdaq, you are gay. If you take us out before the open, you're gay. You see, now I've said it, I reckon the Nasdaq's actually going to be gay. Let's see. Look, he's only got 40 seconds, mate. Nasdaq, mate, you don't have to be gay. I've been with you for many years. I've been loyal. Oh, fucking Vietnam, mate. What is this? Looks like a war zone, mate. I pulled up. I felt like I was pulling up into a fucking US military Vietnam war zone, mate. I don't know. As soon as I got here, I thought like Vietnam was, I just instantly thought of the US military or whatever it is. Alright, here we go. Here comes the action in 8 seconds. It's going to be nice, quick and snappy. We're either going to be out. Either way, we're going to be out. Okay. Well, it should start to pick up a little bit in a second. It's making its mind up. Right, it's gonna take the short-term high then, I guess. That's what it's appearing to be. Yeah, I'm trailing. So I'm going to be trailing to 150.5. Watch ES. So the Nasdaq wasn't gay. See, I do respect the Nasdaq for that. I do. I don't mind the Nasdaq's okay. I'm also going to be trading again in 7 seconds to this other short-term low, okay, which is at 153.75. Okay, so now you're trading to 153.75, very important stuff. 153.75, make sure you got that locked in, okay, quick, snappy, simple stuff. Make sure you're quick with that. Cancel your other orders, okay, so if price takes you out, you don't get entered into a fucking short like a dumbass. Make sure you cancel your orders, mate, it's so fucking important, okay. So if we get this as a breakaway gap, I'm going to be trailing to the low again. So I'll be trailing only slightly, but to 145.50, which will be breakaway gap low, which is paired with a mitigation block in this case, which is this mitigation block. We inversed a strong bearish PD array, which was previously a bearish order block. Okay, so be quick and snappy with this, but I'm going to be looking at 154.50. Okay, that's in. 154.50, lock it in, lock it in. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm rushing someone on Fortnite, you know. Lock it in, lock it in. I'm pushing, I'm pushing. Do you remember that shit from fucking 2018? So essentially this breakaway gap on the Nasdaq paired with this mitigation block should be a point to work off for the Nasdaq to continue higher and trade towards our TP. If not, then I'd happily get taken out at breakaway gap low. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. We're also running our stop as of now below this bullish order block, as you can see here. So we're protected by this bullish order block, which is at the start of 163.50, which is also paired with this gap. And then we also have the mitigation block and breakaway gap. So countless bullish PD arrays actually paired with price action at the moment for price to continue higher. Okay. So our next point to trail would be if the Nasdaq closes to form a gap past the short-term high. Okay, so we either get a strong close for 75%, our trail to this low, or we actually get a gap for price. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So a nice strong close above this high here, I would be trailing. When I say strong close, it has to close like it is now. I'm going to be looking at 166.50. Yeah, that's a very strong close. I'm looking at 166.50. All right, quick and snappy. Quick and snappy, guys. Okay, make sure you're quick with this shit. 166.50. Well, I mean, the reason why I say be quick is because I've got so many fucking accounts that I'm managing. Monitor ES here, very close to TP. 166.50. Give me a second. Where the fuck is it? There it is. And then to this point as well. Yeah. So that's basically it. You can see we're only still risking around 1R on the trade. Price either continues to trade higher as of this point, either ES or the Nasdaq takes the objective, and that's basically it. Nice bullish price action, respecting all bullish PD arrays as of now, bullish order flow, and we are managing our risk accordingly. And you can see we're about to put in this bullish gap, which is yet again another breakaway gap, and breakaway gaps show a significant sign of increased volume in a specific direction for price. So if we disrespect bullish order flow, this bullish order block, breakaway gap, etc., then we'd happily be taken out at 166.50. Okay. So you can see we're also extremely correlated between the Nasdaq and ES, as we're nearing the same structured point and time high for price, okay, at basically the same rate of speed, you know. Yeah, that's basically it. So either way, we've locked in 1R of profit on this trade. It's 1R minimum, okay. or we're going to be looking at 2R if the Nasdaq continues to trade and being bullish. So I'm going to be hovering over the flatten all button here because this one's getting quite snappy here. Right, so I'm going to be trailing to the low of this breakaway gap, so 172.75. Alright, 172.25, so make sure you trail there. 172.25. Because we've almost just, oh, ES just took TP, I'm fucking out. Make sure you close out of that trade, guys. That's it. 2R. We just fucked the Nasdaq in the ass. Cancel your fucking limits. So that is a first London macro 2R. You see that? So this month we're up 3R. Last month we closed up 4.5R. This month we're already up 3R. And we're yet to fucking begin the month really. I mean, we're still very early into the month. And this is only the first London macro as well on a fucking Monday. Okay, what the fuck goes on a Monday? Okay, CPI this week as well. Gonna be having a little spin on CPI. So caught that first trade in fucking Vietnam, you know. So that's nice. Okay, so hopefully that trade made sense to you guys. Everything makes sense. Okay, we had a bullish bias only because of the 5 getting inversed. As soon as we inversed the 5, I seen a 27 handle stop. I looked at my position size list on Discord. Okay, I knew my position size off the bat. I entered accordingly with half size on the light accounts, the scaled accounts, and then accounts which I'm running which are not even on half size. And that's basically it. And then we've got a 2R inside of the first London macro, and it's pretty obvious, but we're going to be waiting for the second London macro and then the New York AM session and the PM session. Okay, can you explain where we shifted on NQ before the entry? Yeah, so if you look on the Nasdaq, you can see that we put in a short-term high at 237. So it wasn't a very structured point to really look at, but we have this 237 high, which isn't that obvious. You can see it is a short-term high, and we shifted above that high. And then if you actually look at price, the only thing I was getting slightly concerned about was the invalidation high, which you can see on ES, there is no invalidation high, but it tapped the same high, which you could class as invalidation. But we don't class a tap, only a sweep. And this is not a short-term high, so it wouldn't be invalidation anyway. On the Nasdaq, this would be the invalidation high, and it never got taken for price, hence why I took my entry for my position at 245. So we inversed the gap at 245. The 5-minute closed inverse to be bullish, hence why we got this nice bullish bias, and that was it. Okay, so I mean, as you guys work through this year with me, and it is good speaking with you guys as well, you know, you guys are obviously learning how to manage your prop firm accounts and keep them for the long term. You're also learning on how to manage live capital as well and grow it on a compounding interest, you know, risking 4% a trade, 3% a trade. There's also some very big things coming to the group as well, as far as what I can do for you guys and benefit, you know, you guys. Okay, so you can actually make more money. Yeah, so there are some big things coming. Okay. So I'm putting in a lot of work behind the scenes. But not for Dr. Scene, but behind the scenes. And yeah, that's basically it. So, yeah. Bit of water. Well, I'll tell you what, I've not actually eaten today. The Hazard caught that shit. I'll have to eat. How can I spend my 75 million Vietnamese? I don't really know. Let's have a look. Let's have a look on the fucking food app. I'm gonna have to make an order. Top Step wouldn't connect because I had to sign an agreement. Yeah, but you have to make sure that you don't like kind of set your accounts up like as the macro starts, because I had to also sign that same agreement on everything, like all of the accounts, you know. So I basically had to put my address, name, and everything, you know, all of that malarkey. That's good stuff, C4. That is good stuff. C4, you probably would have sent yourself off a balcony with a cat if you missed the last 2-hour trade and then missed this one as well. I mean, you probably would have fucking smacked yourself with a fucking spade, mate. Right. Yeah, mate, I've been making and printing cash for fucking years, mate. It doesn't fucking surprise me, mate. When we lose money, I've seen it as such a fucking great opportunity, mate. At the start of the year, when we made a load of money, I knew everyone was very excited. No, I was so excited as well when we had a losing streak, because so many people like lost their accounts and got that lesson at the start of the year, which is so crucial to some people, just to fucking, let's say, marinate in the psychological part of trading and managing capital and risk, okay? Because, you know, that month we closed in a significant profit. 4.5R is a lot of money, okay? If you got a nice amount of accounts. And for people that lost accounts that month, to close the month in a profit is diabolical. And it's great that that happened there. So one of the biggest losing streaks, not the biggest losing streak I've ever had, but the biggest consecutive losing streak. So 8 losing trades or 7 losing trades in a row would be definitely up there with my most amount of losing trades in a row, but not my biggest loss, okay? Because each trade wasn't actually a flat -1R. It was around 0.3, 0.2, 0.5, a few -1R trades, you know, and we closed the month in a profit, and this month we're up 3R again. And we're also yet to see for March and April. You know, we got fucking March and April coming up. Holy shit, okay? So it's like, what are you saying, babes? No, let's order food, mate. We need to order. Oh shit. Oh, that's why you played it so many times. Right, you want to eat, yeah? I'm hungry as fuck. No, turn it off. Man, I'm sick of that song, bruv. Alright, what's everyone saying? We got any questions in the chat? First lesson is to be losses is the best lesson. Yes, brother, absolutely. Well, I'll speak to you guys for the second London macro. I'm just going to get some food on the order. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys shortly.
Nothing less than a tray, I'm a sipper. Big backwood, roll straight out the zipper. Might hit the strip club, throw a K on the stripper. They like how I put that shit on, I'm a dripper.
Right. Let's see what we got, mate. In the fucking second London macro. Let's have a look, let's have a wander. We'll see. Check out HMRC. I'm in HCMC right now. That's what they call it. HCMC in Vietnam. I mean, holy shit, there's not much going on here. But I'll tell you what, I've not even left the yard yet. So I only just got here last night. Well, I've just ordered some food. Nothing crazy, nothing crazy. How's the war zone looking? It's alright, mate, it's alright. I'm going to see if I can get a... I want to get a litre bike, but I don't think there is any bikes. So I'm just going to get a moped or something. Explore the city with a moped. And, that's pretty much it, mate. Let me have a look at my bias. So the daily's bearish. So the 4 hour is bearish. Okay, pretty fucking obvious, mate. Okay, yeah. Hourly time frame, what we're looking at here. So we got a inverse bullish gap. That's bearish as fuck. Okay, so that is a bearish bias, my brothers. A bearish fucking bias indeed. A sweep of buy stops and a continuation for shorts is exactly what we're going to be looking at in this second London macro. 15-minute time frame. You can see that the 15 is currently fucking bullish. And it's going to be bullish. Nothing's stopping the 15 from being bullish. Even if we inverse the gap, it's still bullish. Okay? And the 5 is the same scenario. It's going to be bullish and nothing's going to stop it. You can't stop it, mate. Well, we've got a bearish bias, which is quite difficult in this situation, but we do. We have a bullish order block, okay, a shift in structure, which is already occurring. Hence why we're getting another fucking trade inside of London here. We swept Asia highs, okay. We have swept buy stops. ES has not formed a gap. Okay, so ES is fucking around. ES is not giving us a gap. Okay, so even if we shift on the Nasdaq, it will be a model on the Nasdaq, but it shall not be a model on ES. There's no gap, so we need a gap. Very fucking essential. So ES has enough time to shift. We have an invalidation low all the way down here. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So this guy is delivering my food and I've got to pay him cash. But I don't really know, mate, because I'm going to have to go down and meet him. And he's coming in fucking fast, mate. That is a very good idea. So if you look at ES, there's no gap on ES, hence why this is a non-valid position. Okay, I ordered 2 lots of spaghetti bolognese with extra beef. Nothing crazy. I do like my fucking spaghetti. I eat a bowl of spaghetti bolognese, which is just beef mince, every single fucking day. So I've made sure I've ordered 2 bowls, one for now, one for later. And it's also one of the meals, especially when you're in places like Vietnam, which I don't really despise to be, really. I don't know if I really like this place, I haven't seen it yet, but when I'm in a place that I don't know, beef mince is one of the one thing that you can't really get food poisoning from that easily. It's not that easy to get, food poisoning from fucking beef mince. So yeah, it's the best meal in the game, mate. So obviously, when you have a steak, that's one of the best meals in the game. But then it's also followed by spaghetti. Now the reason why it's so good, mate, you get a shitload of carbs, you get protein as well. You really get hit with all of it. Eggs and steak, it's just straight protein. So I need to fuel the carbs up. The carbs are fully fucking deflated right now. Because when you eat a whole pack of beef mince, mate, I don't know how much protein that is, but it's a lot of fucking protein. So if price is bearish right now, okay, we've seen on ES, okay, we've seen a shift, a failed shift in structure, number one. If price is bearish, it shall shift again. If it's bullish, it will trade higher. We don't lose money. Okay, we don't enter positions. If price shows us, okay, we're bearish. Okay, we're following higher time frame draws. Alright, cool, shift. Order block, low, fine. That will be a trade that we'll take. Trade back towards buy stops, towards the highs, cool. I'm not taking any, there's no positions. Right, one sec, let me get my 75 million. Where the fuck is it? I've lost it, mate. I've lost my whole net worth. You can see prices trading back towards buy stops. I've actually lost my 75 million, mate. I know where it is. Oh, there it is. Now, even the money looks fake. They call it dong. Fucking dong, mate. Fake ass shit. It smells like money though. Always got. I don't know if you guys don't smell your fucking money, then there's something severely wrong. We could very easily get a shift lower in structure here. Very fucking important. Okay, I will be monitoring that. Give me a second, guys. Right, lovely. Sent the ting on the mission, mate, to go get the food. Isle of Sheppey? The fuck is Isle of Sheppey, mate? Where's that shit? Isle of Sheppey. You start eating some sheep, mate. Always during the first week or so of being in Thailand, you get hit with the worst dehydration and plus change of food, etc. Go to 7-Eleven, get some electrolytes. I eat very well in Thailand, mate. I eat better than I do in Miami, so there isn't any change of food. It's always change of ordering, I would say. If you fucking order Thai food, then it's a change of food. I mean, you can order Thai food in Miami if you want, so you can order fucking Indian food in any country in the world, especially the fucking UK. We'll tell you that. The UK has a select variety of fucking Indian food and Chinese food. When I'm in Thailand, my diet consists of only pasta, rice, chicken, minced beef, steak, Wagyu steak, obviously, and Greek yogurt, blueberries, fresh mango, real fucking dried fresh mango, chocolate milk, and Mascana protein shakes, and oats, and beans, and eggs. That's it. Nothing fucking crazy, you know? Yeah, but what you will find, the people that when you see Indians in Thailand, and you'll be thinking, oh, what the fuck, you know, there's so many Indians here. You're only gonna find them in the smelly areas, the areas you don't really want to go. So luckily, they're actually very good at staying in the bad areas. So they actually kind of stay out of your way as long as you're not like flat broke. Then you're gonna be in, you know, you're gonna be away from them. Even the Thai people, they don't like them. Yeah, and then the people that you'll find, which will be in the same area as you, would be like retired Americans, Russians, and that's it. That's basically it, mate. That's basically it. No, but every Russian woman sounds like they're whispering. That's just their accent. That's just being Russian. They all sound like they're whispering, don't they? Russians, in my opinion, are not OP, mate. I don't like Russians. I like speaking to Russian people. Great. I don't actually like the women, really, no. Okay, so we had great fun in the first macro. Um, the second London macro, as you can see here, if we look at ES, so we shifted once, ES couldn't do it. We trade back, we tap buy stops. NQ takes buy stops, that's fine. We see a shift lower in structure, 5 minute swing low, both assets. So nothing really that crazy right now. But the food has arrived. That's fucking good. That was almost a disaster, mate. Almost dropped the food on the floor. Looks alright, mate. One thing people have said is that the food here is good. So I'll fucking put that to a test in a minute. English things are the worst. Yes, they are. Mate, it's weird because they still have paper money here and plastic money at the same time. So strange. Okay, so as you can see there, we just took a 5-minute swing low for price. Yeah, so basically as of now, there isn't going to be any positions for us to look for, okay? So, very obvious on both NQ and ES, very prominent 5-minute swing low, which is going to be our invalidation low. Okay. So nothing for us as of this point. Matter of fact, I will speak to you guys in a little sec. I'm just gonna have a little see what this, if I can pass the same whilst we monitor price, but as of now there isn't any positions. Obviously we swept buy stops, we shifted below this low, but it actually took us to take out this low, which is obviously pretty obvious. I mean, if you shift below this low, it's going to take the 5-minute swing low, which is renowned to being an invalidation low. It's on both assets as well, okay? So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I'll speak to you guys in a sec. Actually, matter of fact, in the meantime, if you do have any questions that you want to ask, then make sure you drop them in the chat as well. Right, I'll give you guys a little fucking Gordon Ramsay food test. I'll tell you what, it's not that bad, mate. It's not that bad at all. It's decent. Pretty similar to the way that I'd make it. I'll give it a... Let's give it a rating. I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8, mate. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Just a fucking beef mince and spaghetti. They've put some cheese on it, a few herbs. They've missed out the peas, but fuck the peas. It's not bad. Nothing in the London macro. Second London macro as of now, as you can see, pretty obvious. Okay. Pretty hard to fuck up. Exactly, that's why I ordered it. It's pretty hard to get food poisoning from it, and it's pretty hard to fuck up as well, so yeah. So nothing inside of this second London macro. Now we had a 5-minute swing low on both assets, hence why it was the invalidation low, pretty obvious one there. And you can see here that this trade would have resulted already in a loss of around minus 0.5 R, or if you didn't trail, then soon to be 1 R. But yeah, so he said 1 hour bullish. Let's take a look. So why exactly would you have the 1 hour to be bullish? Let's have a look. So what's got you to the conclusion of an hourly being bullish? So I've got the hourly to be bearish because we inverse this bullish gap for price, which is bearish towards the next hourly low, which is this one, towards 120.50. Okay, The 4 hour, if you look at the 4 hour, you can see that we are trading out of a 4 hour bearish gap, which is fucking bearish towards this bullish gap down here. Pretty obvious stuff. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Nor NQ or ES is traded into this bullish gap. Yeah, that's basically it really. Nothing crazy. I'll continue to monitor this London session, and yeah. So if you're wondering, actually, matter of fact, how much are we up on the year so far? So as of now, we're up 7.5 on the year, and we're only on the 9th of fucking February, mate. So we still got March, April, we still got August, we still got, you know, September, October, November, fucking December. Even July, I make fucking money in July. I lost money last July anyway, I lost fucking 4R, mate, but 2024 July, I made some money. Got paid out, mate. Yeah. What's my overall R gain on the year? I would put it in the I'll put it in a standpoint of around, I would say 50R. I mean, there's not a goal. I wouldn't say there's a goal. It's completely out of my control to whatever is the result for the year. It could be fucking 70R, or it could be as low as, like, you know, 30R really. For it to be as low as 30R would be a shocking result. But it could go as high as, you know, something like 70R. So it is really a random, very random. Goldman Sachs couldn't tell you, I couldn't tell you. Matter of fact, Goldman Sachs have the same occurrence as well. They have years when they have very minimal red days, and have years when they have substantially higher amount of red days through the year. You can actually see Goldman Sachs report, which they release every single year. You can take a look at their performance, etc. They usually have around 260 winning days or something, and then they have, you know, 26 or 30 losing days, whatever it is. I'll speak to you guys in a sec. Okay, I thought I'd tell it to you guys. This one is a pretty obvious one here. You can see we sweat buy stops. We are shifting lower in structure, but there is no order block on ES and the NASDAQ, which also puts an invalidation low to be this low here for price. Pretty obvious 5-minute swing low. Yet again, same scenario as what would stop ICT traders from this short continuation short after sweeping Asia highs. And yeah, there's just no inverse order block. It's not possible to inverse an order block to be paired with the gap. But yeah. And we just took the invalidation low on the NASDAQ. Macro's done. Macro's pretty much done, mate. Yeah, it is actually done. So that's London session finished. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed. You found some guidance from this session. You made some fucking money whilst you're learning as well. You can clearly see what up to are on this London session. That's basically it. Okay, so I'll speak to you guys for the New York AM session. I'll be live at 9:20 AM EST again. We'll monitor the New York AM and the PM. I'll speak to you guys shortly. Take it easy. Yeah, so that right there, my brothers, is not a shift in market structure. That is a failed shift in structure on the Nasdaq. So no opportunities there. Essentially what it means, I mean, it's only one failed shift, and it's not even a confirmed failed shift because we can still shift on this candle. So it's not a write-off. It just means this next candle would have to close below this low. That's perfectly fine. That's the invalidation low. You can see how close, you know, price actually draws to that area. You know, that's what we look at. Okay. So that's where the fucking bias comes into play. So if we close below this low and don't tap IV, that's going to be a shocking moment, really quite rare. So as far as the 15, no, the 15 hasn't changed at all. You know, because with the 15, you can see that we have a neutral 15. So basically, this is going to be a shift in structure, and then we took IV. You see that? So that's a bullish 5, and that's a bullish 4 hour. That's no trade. Okay, so that right there, little quick snappy movements, that now invalidates our trade. Okay, does that make sense? So when price trades back to this gap, you wouldn't then look for an entry. IV was taken on ES ages ago. No, ES never took IV. ES never took IV. Does that make sense? Okay. So basically, Jams, I know you're counting swing lows for IV, but also what invalidates a trade is bias. You know, that's pretty essential. It's spot number 2 on the checklist. And that's why that low is IV, hence why the 5 goes bullish at that low. Does that make sense? So it's not invalidation low as far as swing lows. Of course not. It would be this low for price. But this is bias and validation low. There's 2 types of, you know, price really invalidating. Okay, so no opportunities here. Hopefully that makes sense. 15 bullish. Let's have a look. Right, so why is the 15 bullish? What exactly is causing the 15 to be bullish? I'm curious. Maybe I've missed something, you know, but I don't really see how the 15 is bullish. It's going to be a strange factor, that one. What's the plans for the 15 being bullish? I only joined stream 2 minutes ago. Work meeting ran over. It was explained. Oh yeah, chilling, brother, chilling. You should have told your boss to fuck off, mate. We got C4. Bit of fireworks. You're getting your little hit of dopamine from New Year's. That's the they probably had a little bit left over. 2027 in Thailand, minds, you're setting your expectations way too fucking far, mate. I mean, you should be looking at least mid-year, but you need more accounts. I mean, your 2027 prediction would be pretty much correct because you don't have that many accounts. You know, for some over at least 10 accounts, you know, yeah. So a lot of ICT traders will be taking a short, and this is not valid according to our bias. Now, I'll tell you one thing as well. You know, even like last week, we avoided 4, 5, 6 losing trades, you know, according invalidation lows and bias. You know, it carries us out of not taking positions, you know, that are invalid. Okay, you guys seen it over and over and over again. Oh, absolutely, Mines. I will see you there for 2027, mate. I'm going to be there. Actually, matter of fact, I think you guys should actually come over to the fucking apartment, mate. I think that'd be sick. Because obviously in 2027, end of this year, going New Year's, I've got the best penthouse view in the whole of Pattaya of the city, the beach, everything. And it's huge. It's a nice big penthouse. So, you know, there's going to be a jacuzzi up there. I'm also going to fit a sauna as well. you know, everything will be there. Matter of fact, I'll probably get a few shishas in there as well. I know I don't smoke anymore, but I might like fit some shishas for people that come round and shit, you know. 100 dudes in an apartment is going to be one gay event, mate. We'll pick up some things on the way. Yeah, it's probably best that you go Colombia for that. I mean, bring some things from Colombia, mate. I can tell LCA is most likely from the US. I don't know if he spelt thing. It said things. It's got to be things, mate. Oh, he's from Netherlands, yeah. Quite fucking possibly, Jams. Quite fucking possibly. You know, the ideology, right, of a no news day in this current scenario, right, in this current market, it's bullshit, mate. You know, volatility is presented every single day of the week. Okay, you can only talk back in 2023 on a no news Monday that price action really didn't move that much. Okay, we're in a whole different world right now. Okay, we're in fears of recession fears, Bitcoin fears of it going to zero because it actually fucking could, you know, with all the files coming out and everything. So everything in the world is uncertain. Gold's dropping 12% in a day, which it hasn't in, I think, its whole fucking lifetime. Yeah, market volatility is absolutely there. So, which presents us opportunities. So a no news Monday is, you know, it doesn't stop us. I'm actually drinking a drink right now called Milo. It's the well, they actually have these in Thailand, but it's the only chocolate milk that I can actually get myself in Vietnam. I couldn't find a chocolate milk anywhere like the ones I usually buy. This one's a really small one. I don't think it's that pure. It's not really up to my standards, to be honest, but it's 180 ml. Yeah, I mean, you know, I told people, my YouTube video, I posted it. I said, you know, I said Epstein was behind Bitcoin. I said, you know, the US is run by Jews, which is obviously like, everyone knows that. And I also said, I don't even know if I can say it in this video, to be honest. But I said Hitler was, I don't even know if I can say it, but that's what got me banned last time. Me talking about Hitler was what got me banned, so I won't say it. Yeah, I can't lie, these Vietnam people, they are very short, like very, very small. I've kind of noticed, I was like, holy shit. You know, sometimes I can't even see it. Short and snappy, yeah. They are. They are short and snappy. Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, so what we're seeing on price at the moment, not much. Nothing. Iced tea traders are spinning probably because they're in shorts or they're having a little spin. You know, there was actually in the second London macro, there was a opportunity for shorts, but it was invalidation low, 5 minute swing low, right? And it ran to stop. You know, so we avoid trades like that. and we keep our profits, you know, to our... Holy shit. I'm 5'6". I was taller than most over there. Felt good for once. Holy shit, brother. That's insane. I mean, they got to be around, like, I don't really know, like, heights and everything, but they must be probably about, I don't know, 5 foot or something. Get a lot of neck pain here, I'll tell you that. I've already got quite a bit of neck pain just even trying to look at them. It's one of those ones. So genetics. Right, so little sweep of buy stops. I mean, look, we got a 5-minute swing low. Obviously, that's the invalidation low. As far as bias, you know, the 5's still bullish. So, you know, most probable is that we're going to trade towards buy stops. And, yeah, that's basically it. Maybe just take out this low. I mean, you know, we're not here to predict the future. Start spinning in our chairs because it doesn't matter. I'll say that we're going to likely, if we're going to get any sort of model in this first macro, we'd have to take out that short-term low, trade into the 15 unfilled, and just have a bullish bias because that's what we have, and that'll be it. I mean, we're not really going to see much, to be honest, you know. Yeah, Freddie, I can't really even speak about it, mate. To be honest, I actually spoke quite in depth about it because, you know, when I look into topics, sometimes I get over obsessed, so I find every bit of information. I go deep into like websites that you can't even get into, you know what I mean? So I really read into everything, and as soon as I spoke about it on YouTube, got fucking taken down after about an hour. My Instagram story got taken down in about an hour. I've received a strike on YouTube and everything. It's mad. I thought it was freedom of speech though. But I could post like a ting, right, in her bikini, and the bikini could even slip, like in the video, and that's still gonna go fucking on Instagram and YouTube. But I can't talk about that though. I can't talk about, you know what, you know, so that's the world, mate. I mean, I don't really care anyway. Like, what am I gonna do? You know, if I can resurrect Hitler or, you know, the Jews, you ain't gonna stop them, mate. So it's just pointless even talking about it. The greatest story never told. I don't think I have seen that, no. Are you out of the 190k drawdown? I know it sounds crazy, look. I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, I don't really pay attention to it. I just pay attention to risk. I would say, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm in a nice profit on the year. I've already taken over 110k in payouts. Actually coming up to around 150 now. And my accounts are increasing in balance. So, I mean, when you look at it as an overall of all of my accounts, and it looks kind of crazy, and it's like, I would sit there and think, holy shit. But I don't really I don't look at nothing like that. Yeah, it's nothing here, you know. We left the 15. We got the daily and the hourly. Yeah. Does anyone have issues with Tradeovate? I don't think anyone's got issues with Tradeovate today. What's everyone thinking about Tradeovate? It's working for me just fine. We hit, you know, banging positions and trade sinkers smooth, top steps smooth. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, it's working, yeah. Smooth as a bat, mate. So that's a sweep of buy stops. You know, that's basically it. Nothing crazy in this first day in macro. I'm gonna order some food actually. What should we order, mate? Let's get some fucking suggestions in the chat. So I've already had spaghetti. Kebab. Oh, not a fucking bad idea, mate. Not a bad idea at all. McDonald's, nah. I actually don't eat fast food. I don't eat fast food. I used to eat, you know, I used to like it. I used to eat fast food, smoke cigarettes, cigars, vapes, fucking... I take my health, like, a lot more seriously now. Pizza... Kushar meat. Oh, mate, I don't know. That sounds like food poisoning, mate. Erican. Okay, let me fucking sort the Erican. One sec. We've got people spinning here. Alright. Honestly, I've seen the reviews that you guys put on Whoop. Or the wherever the fuck you got to this Discord. And it's mad. You know, we got over 65-star reviews. I don't see anyone with the same level of aura as our fucking group, mate. We got too much aura. Other people got fucking 1-star reviews coming in because they're shit or they don't know what they're doing. We've been in this space for fucking a long time. Losing you, losing me. Dangerous, dangerous. High protein pizza. I didn't even know that was a fucking thing, brother. Yeah, someone had a pretty good suggestion for kebab. I actually do quite like a kebab, but only if it's done nice. But how can you really fuck up a kebab? You can't, can you? It's not really possible. That's why it's kind of... I'm leaning on interest on that one. They do banging kebabs in Pattaya, mate. I know this one guy with the shop. 10 out of 10, mate. 10 out of 10. 65-star reviews, mate, in a few months. Unfucking matched. Right. Took a long on an eval this morning and realised after I took the L that I didn't switch to the eval and it took it unfunded. Oh no. Oh no, Jack. Oh no. Oh dear. That's like pretending to shoot a dog and shooting your dog in the head. That's a pretty fucked up analogy. I mean, that doesn't even make sense itself. How do I spell kebab? Kebab. Right, there we go. That's how you know I failed English, mate. I can't even spell kebab. Right, let's see. Okay, so, ooh, not bad, mate, not bad. Oh, actually looks decent. 4.3 star reviews. That's not very good, mate. Should I risk it for a biscuit, though? This one's called Kebabi. So their shop is called Kebab with a Y. I mean, if you're actually called Kebab, surely that's what you do. So you should be pretty good at it. Oh, let's click on it and see what they're doing. That's got to be the most Turkish guy I've ever seen in my life. Do you advise against consuming raw milk? Been drinking the stuff for 2 months without a problem. However, got severe food poisoning this Saturday. I'm not sure if it was the milk and if I should continue consuming it without cooking. Well, I wouldn't say it's the milk if you've had it for 2 months, mate, because it doesn't just build up. Food poisoning, you kind of get it within about quite quickly, to be honest. So if we just look at price right now and we close an entry, could see a potential opportunity here. If we just have relook at our bias, okay, so you know the 15, that's going to be it's a neutral 15, okay. So if we look at the 5, this is the only one that might have gone bullish, which bearish, I mean, which it has. So that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at a bearish 5, okay. So we're just staying on top of it. It really depends. If this candle closes green, then that's the end of the macro. Yeah, so that's the end of the macro. That's the end of the first. There's no point even looking at bias. Yeah, the stream ended due to system error again anyway. Oh, so we got a photo of a bike in the chat now. Let me have a look at this. That doesn't look like a liter, but it looks like, let me, well, it's a 650. Ninja 650. 650, yeah. ZX6. 675. Yeah. It doesn't look like a liter because usually it looks like a 600. I mean, yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean that's probably, you know, the 650. What do you call it? The ZX6R is the best 600cc bike ever made. The ZX6. It's the best 600cc bike ever made. What bike brand is the most reliable? Most reliable. I would probably say Kawasaki. I would say they're probably the most reliable. I wouldn't put Yamaha as most reliable because they have the most fucking issues, mate. I mean, like the R1, for people that ride R1 for a long time, you know that it has, you know, I even had an exhaust fall off at 250 on the R1. You know, it was attached underneath and it fell off in Dubai as I was flying at like 250. Also the actual starter to start the R1, that's like the biggest issue. Everyone's made a meme about the R1 doesn't start, but the start is it's not a problem. I mean, look, roll the bike down a hill, kick it in gear 1, you can just roll start the bike anyway. But yeah, Kawasaki's probably your best bet, pretty most reliable. That's my favourite bike anyway, to be honest. Hence why I'm going to Japan to have a look at the H2R. Okay, lamb kebab sandwich. Let's see. Yeah, I think lamb's probably the best, mate. R6 or R1? R1 every single day, mate. Yeah, the only 600cc bike that I'd actually ride would be a ZX6. I wouldn't ride anything else. Everything else got to be a liter. CBR, I don't really like the CBR. The S1000 I've never been on, but I would say it is a good bike. So S1000, R1's good, I've rode R1. ZX10's good. Z1000's good. Street racing GoPro live stream from Tokyo. It's got to be done, hasn't it? It's got to be done. I don't really know how you can live stream, but you know, if I can figure it out. No, I've never been on a Ducati. I don't like the dry clutch. I think it sounds kind of, you know, it sounds a bit shit. But don't get me wrong, you know, the Ducati is one of the best made bikes on the streets, you know, the best performing bike, one of the fastest bikes on the street as well. But I mean, some people love the sound of the V4 and then some people don't. So it's like, it's the same with the R1. Some people like the NASCAR sounding R1 and some people don't. So it's like, it's really versatile. Right, I'm kind of leaning towards this lamb sandwich. Might give it a go. I might order one of each and just kind of, you know, test it out. Man, they got all these weird sauces. Cocktail sauce. It's like, mate, I'm not trying to get drunk with my kebab. Cocktail sauce. This is a real thing. Not spicy. Yeah, fuck the spice. I never understood spice. You know, I see people having these spicy meals. It's like, you know, if you want to burn your mouth, mate, just put it back in the oven. Wait until it starts boiling. Put a bit of olive oil in it and then stick it in your mouth, mate. I'm pretty sure your mouth will burn very fucking fast. I never understood this spice stuff. Never understood it. It's just your meal wasn't hot enough, mate. Right, let's order one of those. Raw milk, mate. Honestly, I never drank raw milk in my life. I only drink chocolate milk and the normal milk, the perforized, the one that everyone says is bad. I mean, I just drink the normal milk and then I have the chocolate milk, mate. So, I actually don't even drink milk because I rarely have cereal. I only put normal milk in with protein powder and I mix it with like oats, bananas, peanut butter and all that normal stuff, and I have a bulk shake from that. But yeah, I don't do that, you know, raw milk and everything. Yeah, that's what I'm drinking that now, mate. It's I don't really rate it, to be honest. I feel like they've disrespected my name, to be honest, with dropping this chocolate milk. It's not one of the best tasting ones. It's a bit disrespectful, to be honest, mate. I could produce a way better chocolate milk than this one, mate, with my years of experience in the chocolate milk field. Oh, that's what I used to get in the UK, the kebab doner. I used to always get this when I was broke. I used to pull up in Boscombe. I don't know if you guys know Bournemouth very well, but I used to go in Boscombe and there's a kebab shop next to the subway on the right. FA's, oh my god, no way. I go to FA's, mate. Yeah, FA's or the one opposite FA's. Either one. Whichever one that I'm feeling on the day, but they're both banging. Yeah, you got FA's and then the one opposite FA's. I used to go there all the time. All the time. Man, I used to go to that subway in Boscombe all the time opposite McDonald's as well. Used to go there every day, mate. But isn't the UK such a shithole? Okay, so out of these sauces, what do you guys recommend as a sauce? They have garlic white sauce, and then they have cocktail sauce, and they have Sot Chai vegan TZAT Ziki sauce. Tzatziki, because I've already ordered one kebab with the garlic sauce. I've already ordered one for the garlic, so I wanted to like see what the other one's saying. But they have this tzatziki sauce. Is that good? No, they got a vegan option, which I won't get the vegan, but they also have like a normal tzatziki sauce or whatever. Alright, fuck it, I'll get the tzatziki, mate. Add some fries inside. Yeah, go on, mate. Extra chicken. Extra mixed chicken and sliced lamb. Yeah, alright, cool, I'll do that. Having a license opens so many doors. Just make sure you don't lose it in the first 2 years. Max 6 points in the UK. Yeah, I got 27 points, mate. In the UK, I've got 27 points. I got banned, and then I got banned, and then I got banned. So I got banned 3 times. And then after I got banned, when I was driving whilst I was banned on the ban, I also received, speeding tickets in 30-mile-an-hour speed limit zones for like 60. So some of those speeding tickets, they slapped 6 points on. So they was just coming through, flying through the door all the day. And, I was just looking at them. It was quite funny, to be honest, because I was still driving. And it actually got to a point where I stopped driving because I came to the point when they said that if I was to be caught again, then I would actually go to jail. So I chose to leave the country, and that's when I started my Thailand journey after my second payout. I spent the whole of 2023 in Thailand driving instead of being in the UK, because I hate the UK. Right, that's it, I'm ordering. Where's the rice? Mate, I used to get a plain rice with chicken doner, whatever you call it, in Boscombe, and they used to put the garlic sauce on top, and I used to get 2 boxes of those chicken. That's the best bulk that you can get, besides a Pepe's. And holy shit, is Pepe's one of the best restaurants in the world, mate. It's very difficult to find a Pepe's, apart from Bournemouth, mate, or London. You've never had Pepe's seen? C4 just passed 5 take profit trader accounts. There you go, C4, lovely stuff. That's what we do. Quick and easy. Yeah, Irish, don't worry about, doing all that, driving test stuff. You don't need it, mate. You're worrying about it, you're stressing about it. You don't need it, mate. It's just one of those things that they put in place, but you don't actually need it, mate. There's no point. I taught myself how to ride a bike. I got on a moped. I started with a 155, a PCX 155 Yamaha. And then I went from the moped to a 500cc cross bike. And then I went from the 500cc cross bike to an MT-09. The only reason why I went to the MT-09 is because at the time my friend kind of tried to one-up me, and he had never ridden a bike before, so I couldn't get one-upped. So my ego kind of like stepped in the way a little bit. So I went for the MT-09, stayed on that for about 3 months straight, every single day, riding 4 hours a day. And then I didn't ride for a little while because I went and stayed. I was driving in Miami, so I was driving a Tesla Model Y, which I thought was quite shit, to be honest. So I was driving. The whole time I was driving in the US, I didn't have a license. I never got pulled over once in my life in the US, and I've been driving a long time in the US as well. So I driving the Tesla. I drove from I drove from Miami to Orlando in the Tesla at 200 miles an hour, or however the fast that car went. It was like 150 miles an hour minimum, flat out the whole way. Not one car pulled me over, no speed tickets, nothing. It's mad. And yeah, then I went like Phoenix, and I went to LA, went to San Diego, went to Colombia. And then, kind of long story short, I then drove the Cullinan. So when I bought the Cullinan, I was driving that in Miami for a long time. Never got pulled over with that. I think I might have got pulled over once. No, I did. The only time the police spoke to me in Miami in the Cullinan, I parked outside of a Walgreens in a disabled space, and I didn't have a tag on the car, I don't think, because I only just bought it. I only just bought it, and the tag didn't say it had insurance or something like that, so they pulled me over for. There was like, why are you in a disabled space? And I said, my bad. And then they also said I didn't have insurance, but I shown them. I said, look, I got insurance, and then they left. You know. Another one to the stack. Yeah, lovely stuff at Diaveni. You got some more accounts there as well. Yeah, the whole time I had the Rolls Royce. Yeah, I had no license, mate. I also had no license when I drove from Miami to Texas. That was a 24-hour drive, and I didn't have a license the whole way. I even got pulled over by, 10 police cars, guns to my head, all my friends' head. I went jail 3 days, but that wasn't for the license. Obviously, everyone knows about that one, Yeah, having a license is a facade, mate. I mean, you don't need that stuff. It's fake. Right, even the chat is lagging. Kicks me every few minutes. So you guys having lagging issues right now? Is that what you're saying? Let's say we pass Top Step, My Funded, Lucid. How would you go about fast tracking take profit accounts? So basically with take profit, the way that it works is that you use the 2-day pass where you send them both ways. And when you have 2 days on take profit of 1,500, basically what you want to do, once you get to that 3K balance, you need 5 trading days. And you also need to be below 50%. So the way that I personally would guide you guys on passing Take Profit Trader is by using the martingale strategy. I'll restart the stream in a second, guys. Don't be spinning about it. We're not even macro right now. So basically, the way it works is that you're at a 3K balance on your Take Profit Trader accounts, and what you're going to do is you're going to risk $40. Okay, I'll show you my screen now how you do it. And then the rest of the days you just cycle the days. Okay, so have a look at this. This is how you do Take Profit Trader. Very fucking simple. There is a 5%, 10% chance that you can actually blow the accounts completely. So you'll do it inside of Asia. Okay, so let's say for example 15 points. So just using basic maths, okay, so if we extend this out, 15 points and 15 points. So what you're going to do is, okay, right, I'm going to restart the stream. Fuck this shit, mate. One sec, let me get rid of this. All right, cool. Let's get some ones for the audio, and then I'll just share my screen. So let's have a little look. Yeah, I just restarted Discord. So basically, the way it works, this is Take Profit Trader, right? So you got 15 points both ways. So you've already done your 2-day pass. You guys already know the method, but now you're trying to get your 5 days and get price below a 50% for consistency. So what you're going to do is use the martingale strategy. Essentially, right? Let's say you're taking a short, right? So this right here is going to be $50 risk, and you got a TP at $50. Okay. So what you're going to do, you're going to look at price action, and you're going to be inside of Asia or London, and you're going to say, oh, well, I think it's going this way. Depends on market volatility, whether you want to run 15 points. That might be quite a lot in current Asian time for the market. So you might want to do 10. And what you're going to do, for example, is you're going to take a position with a 10-point TP, and it must equal $50. So you need a certain amount of contracts that equals 10 to make 50. Okay, so it's $2 a point, 10, 20, maybe 2 micros, you're going to be aiming for 40. So change it for 40. So all you need is about 40 anyway. So basically, you know, $40, right? So you take your first trade and you fucking lose, okay? Because it's a gamble. So, you know, you're not taking a real trade, so you do it again. And this time, I think you can fucking see where we're going with this. But essentially, you get about 5 goes. And if you fuck up 5 times, then, you know, you're partially, you know, retarded. But then at the same time, this is also how it goes. You know, it's a gamble. It's a kind of a... So now you're going to risk 80 to make 80. And then you fuck up this time. And then you're going to risk 160 to make 160. Okay? And you're going to keep doing that until the account's either blown or you get your $40. And what that is basically going to mean, because you have a balance of, usually you're going to have a balance of 53,025. That's usually where you'll be at with your balance. And your biggest day would be at, with that balance, it would be at 1513, something like that. That's how you trim your accounts down. That's usually where you're going to be at. My kebabs in the kitchen, lovely. So, you know, when you're at that balance with this consistency, you're not under 50%. So that extra $40 that you've just made, so now you're at 53. And that's your biggest day, by the way. So that's going to be 53,065. So if you check that, that should be under 50%. Okay. And then you've passed. And then all you have to do, because you got 1 day, you got 2 days to get the other 1,500, 3 days to do the martingale, and then you need 4 and 5. So on these days, you just go in Asia, 1 micro, you don't try target direction for price, and you just cycle a trading day, and you lose $1 or $2 max, $1 or $2 max, and then you're going to be down to, like, let's say for example, worst case, you're down to 58. Okay, that would likely still pass you against if you have max allocation on other firms with consistent. What do you mean? This is for passing the take profit account. You wouldn't send them against another firm. You're only trying to make, you know, you don't want to lose another firm. Maybe I didn't explain it very well. I mean, hopefully that makes sense. Take profits. This is the only scenario that you would do this for passing a prop firm, which is only take profit, because you've got to be under 50%. You need 5 trading days. Take profit to show I passed the account is going to be at the end of the day. So it's going to be after around 5 to 6 p.m. EST. That's when it will show you that you've passed. Sometimes it can take about an hour even after 6 p.m. So They'll send you an email and it will say convert to pro. They'll send you an email. If I have max allocation on all accounts with consistency and have one more firm to go, which is take profit. Yeah, good question. Well, I don't really know, to be honest. That is a good question. Now, what you'd actually do in that scenario is look at other prop firms. Now, you'd ask yourself this question: do you have Traderify? Do you have Lucid? Do you have, top one futures, or these other kind of smaller firms? Let's say. Because if you do, then if you have an out kind of just a leftover firm, like, one sec, it says stream ended. I don't know why this is happening with Discord. It's being a little bit gay right now, but we have to deal with it for a minute. So when you have this, like this, yeah. So when you just have like take profit left over and you can't really, run the 2-day pass, then essentially what you would do is you'd run it with a high risk trade sinker in the background. So essentially, if you're risking, what my personal preference would be is that if you're risking $300 a trade on your 50k accounts, your funded 50ks, I'd run it as a 2x for your take profit eval and have the chance that it blows, but at the same time, you're risking 600 a trade, okay, to make 1.2. So essentially in, a month, you could kind of look at passing that, or usually less than a month, really. So you only need you don't need that much. You're going to need about 4.55 R, really, and then you kind of pass those accounts. But yeah, I'll speak to you guys in a sec. We're going to have a little look at our bias. Obviously, going into the second A macro, going to be looking for shorts, so the buy side. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll delete this off the screen. Looks a bit messy. I think that Asia highs is old. Yeah, I don't know what the Wi-Fi is like here. Let me check the Wi-Fi. One sec. Wi-Fi speed test. Because in Pattaya, I have the best Wi-Fi in that apartment. It's the best that I've ever had in the world. Let's have a little look. I'm doing a speed test now. Yeah, I mean, it's still alright, but it's not that good. I mean, look, I've got a 320 download speed and a 315 upload speed, and I'm kind of right next to the Wi-Fi box. In Pattaya, I have a 700 downloads. Well, I've actually got a 750 download speed, and I've got like a 750 upload speed in Pattaya. I think even an 800 upload speed in Pattaya. So quite a big difference. I mean, like, everything in Pattaya is fucking sick, mate. Even the fucking Wi-Fi. I mean, I could go on forever, but some people are saying they can see the screen, and some people are saying they can't. Definitely strange stuff indeed. Alright, let's have a look now. Let's see if this is working. Fucking ones. Yeah. That's alright. So we're going to look at our bias. So on the daily, it's the same. On the 4 hour, you can see on ES, we came relatively close to having a neutral bias, but we're still going to be bullish. So that's the same. Yes, I would agree that price still wants to draw higher and draw towards ES to take buy side. I definitely agree with that, Jack. And for the hourly time frame, we're going to be trading as being bearish. Still for the next 17 minutes or so anyway. And the 15 is bearish. And that's an unfilled 5. So we have a neutral 5 and a bearish 15 with a bearish bias. Is that even Asia highs? No. That's just a load of fucking bullshit, mate. That's what that is. So we swept buy side. I mean, you know, we don't need to be marking out areas in price. You know, we don't really care. Point of buy side, you know, that's pretty significant. Also, ES's buy side there. That's actually a very significant point of buy side, matter of fact. And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, we're not looking at anything else. At Jack, imagine I took this. How much is that? 13R. Brother, imagine I fucking, you know, imagine I threw a cat off the fucking balcony, mate. You know? Holy shit. I could take a, imagine we had a 50R trade, you know, imagine we did this, you know, imagine I took a long, as soon as it wicked, just tapped me right there. And I set like a 5 point stop, and then imagine I just took that 23R. Imagine that. That's 23R, mate. I can't believe people didn't take that trade, mate. It's the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, mate. Gets people killed, mate. The coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Coulda, shoulda, and fucking woulda, mate. If we have IV5 swing low on ES, but not on NQ, is the same candle IV on NQ? Not essentially, no. I mean, if it's not a swing low on the NQ, then no, it wouldn't be. You know, let's say this was the 5-minute swing low on ES, which obviously it isn't, and then on NQ, it's just like this. That's not going to be the IV on NQ. You know, an IV would at least be like a swing low for price. Yeah, so the 4 hours also bearish as well. Right, let's have a little look. So, I'm trying to read the chat. Trader 5 for CPI. How are we getting around the 10-second rule, mate? You hold for 10 seconds on CPI, mate. You're going to have to anyway. Okay. Yeah, you guys are asking questions about, you know, price action. There's nothing. You guys are all calling it correctly as well, you know. Yeah, no gap on ES, you know, no gap on the Nasdaq, no shift on the Nasdaq, you know. So it'll be on Tradeify's website, Liam, and they're going to specify the max amount of contracts dependent on your plan. But yeah, I do believe it might be 4 minis. I'm pretty sure 4 minis will be the max. I actually passed on 4 minis, I did. Or whatever it was, I did pass on CPI with the Tradeify's. Okay, so we've got 50 seconds left of this macro here. So we're still going to monitor it. I'll take a look. But if nothing in the next 40 seconds, I'll be going off to get my kebab. And also looking at the lunch macro, the PM session, So we closed, we closed January up 4.5R. We're currently up 3R in February. We closed December up 3R. We closed November down 4R. October up 8R. Okay. And if you guys are here for August, I closed that 14R. But yeah, we got this year to come, obviously. So, we're not even, when I say February 3R, I mean, we're not even into February yet. So anything is a probable result. And that's it. That's the end of the second day of macro. How am I liking Vietnam? I haven't really seen what there is. I'm only here for my visa. I'm not going to say my experience so far has been the best. But, yeah, I'm just going to go get this food downstairs. So I'll speak to you guys for the lunch macro. Alright, let's have a little look. Let's have a little wander. So inside this macro, I was looking at price anyway, and nothing was going on. Price making new highs, and no opportunities, basically, as of now. So let me know if you guys can hear me. Let's get some fucking ones in the chat. Start things off. Alright, lovely. So, I heard there might be some questions for me to answer. Let's have a little look, mate. Let's have a little look. I don't mind answering some questions. That's what we do. We improve. I like when people discuss. Alright. Having a little wonder. Fucking hell, we got a full-blown conversation going on here. Great. Are we trading tomorrow? I'll have a little look, actually, mate. Let me just find the LV glasses, mate, because I can't be bothered to see my screen in full brightness. Actually, I think I'm going to get a water as well. So are we trading tomorrow? I don't really know. So I'm going to check in a minute and see if we are or not. We'll have a look. Okay. Right. Let's get the mobile phone. This piece of shit, mate. Right. Okay, so so we are trading tomorrow. That's the answer to that question, mate. The day that we won't be trading, okay, every single day this week is a tradable day. We monitor price in London, the New York AM and the PM. Now, when it comes to Monday the 16th of February, which is a bank holiday, USD flagged, we're not going to be monitoring price. That's pretty plain sight obvious. Apart from that, every single day for the next 2 weeks is a monitorable day for London, New York and PM. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. This week we're monitoring price on Thursday every single day. This week the only day is the Monday the 16th. Yeah, NFP on Wednesday. NFP is triple set NFP, and NFP usually comes out on Friday, so yeah. People saying Thursday NFP. Nah, Thursday we only got unemployment claims. Then we got CPI on Friday. We got non-farm employment change on Wednesday. So no. We're going to be monitoring every day this week. The only day we don't monitor is the Thursday, the day before triple set NFP. But I don't see that for price, so I'm monitoring. Okay, and it doesn't change the outlook too much for the day prior to NFP. However, it's a day that I prefer not to trade. We're monitoring price every day. Let's see if we've got any questions. So if you guys are, thinking of a question, or you just didn't know whether you should ask it or not, make sure you get it in the chat. Let's see the questions. Let's not go too crazy. Mind if we shift market structure and there is a 5-minute swing low right next to the low, that price just shifted below only a couple points. Is that an invalid trade? So more times than not, yes. So over 80% of the time, yes, it would be invalidation low. It really does depend on the scenario of I need more context to that 5-minute swing low. For example, now, we need more context. How was the kebab? Amazing. I wouldn't rate it as my best kebab ever, but it was definitely up there. Probably I'll give it a 7, a 6.5 or a 7. So it was there. It was, the fries were a solid 8. The kebab's a 7. He did alright. He did his job. Bearish bias. Yeah, I mean, look, our bias is most likely bearish. I'm just waiting for price to disrespect bullish pre-raise, and then I'll start looking at the bias ready. Yeah, I never understood this 6'7" shit, bruv. Like, in the US, everyone's saying about this 6'7" stuff, yeah? It's just like, never understood that stuff, mate. Yeah, that's gay flags, mate, yeah. It's gay as fuck. It's actually one of the gayest things, like, I've ever seen. I never understood that shit, bruv. It's mad. I mean, if you did that in the UK, you'd probably just get, like, right hooked in the face. Anyone would right hook you in the face. I mean, if you did that, like, look at his face. I mean, if you did that in the UK, you'd probably get right hooked. I'll be pretty honest, by most people. Yeah. I remember you mentioned... No. So we only trade one model. Yeah, one model only, yeah. So I've been trading this model for the past, 4 years. So what's the rule for invalidation highs and lows? It's the third short-term low out from price with context. I mean, as we talk about with 1-minute lows, you can see they're pretty spaced out as of now. So that's obviously the invalidation low, pretty obvious that. And also 5-minute swing lows. Yeah, so it needs to come with a bit of context. But the more times you watch my stream and get used to it, everyone, I would say, who's been with me, now for... because invalidation lows is actually something I've introduced relatively, you could say, recently to those of you that have been watching me for the past, 2 years. So, for example, invalidation low is something that people have been able to, fully identify after watching me for a few weeks, matter of fact. So nothing crazy. Yeah, you need to pump those numbers up, mate. That's rookie numbers in this racket. 6'7", mate. That's rookie numbers. It really is, yeah. Is that invalidation high? Third high out for price, but it's... Let's have a look. So we can see this here. So, okay, first high, second high, and third high. Yeah, that is invalidation high. That is correct. Yeah. So if that first one, which I can't quite see, but I'm pretty sure, no, I can see. So that would be the invalidation high. That is absolutely correct. So that's good stuff. That's good that you've back tested that. You've identified it. You've done the work there. That is the invalidation high. So you can see it played out. Now, you know, that's something that you can look at in your own time with invalidation highs, but you'll see them more times than not, really. So, you know, that's good. Yeah, so yeah, he had some very nice clean draws of those equal highs. It was very similar to this morning, you know, when we took a 2-hour profit at the equal highs. You know, we had the nice set of equal highs, but we just didn't have invalidation high. It didn't get taken. So, you know, we executed. So I'll have a little scan of the bias. AI, no. So if we look on the daily time frame, you can see that it's bearish. Obviously, that's not going to change. We know that. We got 5 hours on that, and the 4-hour time frame's bearish. Yo, what's happening? Nothing's happening crazy, brother. We're just monitoring price. Hourly time frame's going to be bearish, and then if we look at the 15. So we got a bearish bias. We don't even need to look at 15. Okay, so it's not going to be bullish on the 15. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? So it could be bearish. You know, it's something that we're looking at now, and you know that's just going to be neutral. So yeah, prices ran very aggressively higher, and that's one of those situational scenarios that Jack has been working on, and he's done a lot of work on that, which is great, and he's understood, you know, situational probabilities. So he understood not just off bias, but other points in price on why price is likely to draw higher today, and he's correctly identified. So situational analysis is a very real thing. So the 5's bearish for now, anyway. I mean, look, we don't really have to pay attention too much to the bias. We know we got a nice strong bias, actually 100% bearish bias. That's basically it, and we swept buy side thousands of times. Collect the slip from the office. Yeah, he did get a little bit late. I don't know where the suspect, maybe he was in jail. This morning I have reconnected my accounts on TradeSyncer, then it executed the trades only on half of the positions. Okay, so that's fine, right, but also not fine. Now, if you kind of look into it on TradeSyncer, okay, if you scroll across, I don't know how wide your screen is, but you should be able to see it. So when we look at price, and not price, when we look at TradeSyncer, do you have your accounts turned on, not only on connections, but on the cockpit, you have your accounts all turned on. And, you know, one thing I do advise is that you guys need to have a monitor, okay, that's wide enough that you can leave TradeSyncer as an open tab and see it. Because I've found, from personal experience, you need to have TradeSyncer as an open tab, not a background tab, okay? It works best as an open tab, hence why it's good to have spare screen space instead of being fully occupied and having to run it as a background tab, which some of you do. And I've done that myself in the past, but I've found little to no errors at all with open tabs, just floating, you know, on a 49-inch monitor or something like that, you know. So a background tab doesn't actually, you know, so hopefully that, you know, gives some insight. That's a failed shift on ES. Okay, so the model on the Nasdaq is also a failed shift as well. As mine's hair cracked in correlation with the back testing he's done. Probably. He has an SMT at his hairline as well, yeah. The right side's going back a little bit further than the left. He's definitely probably more bearish on the right. I mean, actually, myself, you know, from the back testing I've done, I'm actually more bearish on the right side than the left side. The left side's always been pretty bullish for me, but the right side's been probably more bearish, I'd say. I got an SMT myself, really. But it's all fixable. I mean, you can put it in correlation just by going to Turkey, really. Well, not just Turkey, there's actually really good clinics in all different countries. But you don't want to get it too young. You want to actually take finasteride and minoxidil, and you want to do something like that when maybe when you get to like late 20s or 30. Yeah, so Top Step's prices did go up, yeah, because they're going bankrupt. I did tell you, like, you know, I wasn't playing around in January. I didn't take, you know, significant amounts, but I have been, you know, from sideways, really getting it in there. And they've kind of experienced that. So you also got to think as well in January, it wasn't just me who they paid, but also everyone in the Discord. So they came out of December in profit, and they, at one point in January, was up 8.6R in 1 month. Ticked a lot of people into a Top Step payout. So that was kind of devastating for them, really. You know, hundreds of thousands. It's all good, brother. Yeah, they're not going bankrupt. I mean, they got, you know, they got mathematicians who work based off probability. It's not actually, you know, our performance doesn't really affect the firm, but the thing that has affected the firm most recently, actually why they've changed their prices, is because of the volatility of metals. People's accounts have soared past 20,000, and now they're able to cycle 5k payouts, and there's nothing the firm can do about it. So yeah, that's why they've had this price change, because they need more money. So they went from being, you know, pretty north to pretty fucking south. Apex Bang Gold. Well, look at this. So when you have Apex, they have a consistency rule on funded of 30%. So it's not going to apply to Apex. It's only applying to the non-consistency firms on why it would be an issue. So Top Step, for example, you know, and Take Profit Trader are the only ones suffering an extreme volatility. The funded accounts are demo, right? Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what they do. So it's only when you get onto actually, you know, live, then it's obviously a difference, isn't it? 3 days traded with 40% consistency target, up to 6,000. Wait, so you're telling me, obviously it doesn't affect us any at all, but this is something new that I've just kind of come across here. So you telling me that Top Step has a 40% consistency? So when did they introduce that? Because they've had no consistency for a long time. You can choose only if you want. What do you mean only if you want? Who would want consistency? Oh. Okay. So, okay. No, it makes sense. So it's a selectable option. You either do 5 winning days, 150 plus 50% of balance, because people have been cycling this method. And then you have the 3-day traded with 40% consistency. Okay, so that makes sense, yeah. So I know countless people. Well, no, I don't know countless people. I know people who have rinsed Top Step just off CPIs, and it's extremely devastating. I don't care at all, but Top Step, in Top Step's eyes, it's devastating. I don't know why they haven't changed the rule. Don't trade on CPI on funded stage. That's not a probable scenario that you know. They should have changed that. They've lost so much money from CPI. You don't even understand. Actually, millions they've lost from CPI. It's mad. So if you guys don't know or understand what I'm talking about when it comes to people rinsing Top Step on CPI, the main alleged way of what they would essentially be doing is they got a capped scaling plan of two minis, right? So 2 minis on a CPI that, let's say, runs 60 points. That's 1,200 times 2, which is 2.4. You can only take 50%, which is about 1,000. So that's, in the eyes of, CPI, pointless. But what people have done is build the balance to 2K, or the eligible balance for five minis. So when you're at 5 minis, and this is where it gets really stupid. So when you're at 5 minis and CPI runs 100 points, this is why Top Step has been cooked. Okay, so if you do 5 times 20 times 100, that's 10,000. Okay, so that's essentially a 5k payout and a little bit more. So now this is where it gets silly. When you get onto the scaling plan of the 150k accounts, and you can trade 15 minis, and you do that times 20 and CPI runs 100 points, that's 30,000 per account, which across 5 is 150k. Okay, so that's, 5k payouts all the way to the bottom. Now, the problem with that is that you have to pick a direction. And that's kind of something I can't talk about, but I'm not going to even explain it because it's not anything that you guys should be doing. Okay, it's fucking pointless. And basically it's the 2-day pass kind of concept between different names. I don't actually think anyone's even done that before, but I think, the only people who have done it, they had a scaled drawdown, they picked a direction and kind of hit the jackpot, you could say, which is pointless. But when you have different names, so two, but yeah, there's no point. I mean, but you get the concept. Basically, it goes in a direction, and you've got it ready. But I've never done it. I've never ran a CPI on my top step accounts in my life, mate. Never done it. It's pointless. I know a couple of people who have done it. The only reason why I know it because they actually have social media accounts and they actually kind of portray themselves as like educating other people, right? And they're just saying, oh look, but you know, I just took this top step payout, or I just done this, and I know exactly why the fuck they're taking a payout. It's because they full ported a fucking CPI and then they milked a couple days and took a payout. They didn't get it from trading. Okay, so I know a couple people who've done that. I'm not talking. Yeah, Lewis. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about other people that you've actually seen on your feed on Instagram, which you wouldn't believe have done it. And they got banned from Top Step though. Don't know if you already explained this today, but will you teach the new ones how to fund some on CPI or NFP this week? Yeah, so let's do it now. Right, so, you know, basically, let's say, for example, I pull this down to 1 mini. So if my explanation now goes fucking south and I get filled, I won't lose any money. So CPI basically goes like this. This is the current price. It's always going to be 25 points. It's actually meant to be 27. So you run it at 27. Essentially, you'd run one of those and one of those. And that's it. Okay, so you've got your prop firm account set and CPI comes out. CPI says kaboom. It either draws higher or draws lower. You set your orders like this, a buy stop and a sell stop, 30 seconds before 8:30 a.m. EST, which is when it comes out. And you can see prices trading. You just trail this up and you trail your orders like that. And that's it. You keep them as close to 27 points as possible. And then boom, before you know it, the news comes out and it would fill you. And essentially, whatever contract you're running here, if it's Apex, it's 10 minis, then you only need 15, which is going to be from 27 plus 15, which is going to be 42. So 42, that's where you pass on Apex. You see how easy it is to pass on Apex. Now, some other firms you need 37 to bring you a little bit higher. So hopefully that makes sense. That's basically it. Okay, and if you don't know how to, you know, copy your accounts in the background, essentially what you would do is Tradeovate. You'd log into Tradeovate. So if you're passing Apex accounts, you'd log into Tradeovate and essentially you would select the account at the bottom, okay, as your lead. On Trade Syncer, you have your other accounts grouped, and that's it. That's how you do it. So hopefully that makes sense. No, you do not need to set, you don't set a TP, no. So you manually close out on CPI. If you got Tradeify, you're going to pass Tradeify, you're going to hold it for 10 seconds. So that's basically it. You know, we did it on the last CPI. We passed over 200 accounts or whatever it was in the last CPI. We did that live. So it was good speaking with you guys in the New York AM session. You know, we spoke in London, made 2R. We're going to speak in the PM session tonight. Okay, so a little bit later on, in about an hour and 15 minutes, we're going to go live again for the PM. We'll see if there's any opportunities. So during the rest of this lunch, okay, New York lunch, we expect kaboom, and then New York PM, kaboom. And that's basically what happens. That's situational analysis. If you didn't already know that one, that's because you didn't watch the 2022. I mean, that's also basic knowledge. I'll speak to you guys and end the stream here, and I'll go live at 1:30 p.m. EST.